There we are.
Here we go. What's
Yep.
up, Andy Rose? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. What's going on?
Bad. Brad Stinson, the mortgage brain. Let's talk about some stuff that's been top of mind lately, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
We're
got
coming up on a holiday, man. Very
a
important one.
pretty important one for all military members, but just our nation as a whole. And what day is that? Memorial Day, right? It's
That's
not
right.
the summer. It's not the backyard barbecue. It's not. I'm gonna go camping. We get 4-day weekend. Yeah, you get all those benefits, but
And all
what's
the
more?
sales at the stores.
Yeah, I mean, the deal of a lifetime. This furniture place is going out of business. And it's only for Memorial Day. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times have you heard that? But um, it's a very, very important holiday because we can't do the things that we're doing, enjoying a backyard barbecue or uh, enjoying the day off of work without the sacrifices of our men and women, right? Our
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. So Memorial Day is vastly different than Veterans Day, which is different than the 4th of July, which, duh, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But this upcoming holiday is the day that we honor the fallen. We honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. You know, um, Andy and I are going to go over some personal opinions on this, right? And we, by all means, do not speak for all vets
Yeah.
and all people, but we can kind of give you a little glimpse inside the heads of us degenerates and how we feel on these holidays and how you can help if you're not a veteran, how you can help
Right.
what's going on. So, what's your takeaway, man? What do you have?
I mean, I think Memorial Day is just, I know it's like the start of summer. I mean, it's graduation week for my area. Kids are getting out of school. You start the summer vacation and all that stuff. And those are all good times. And what a time to have a holiday like that where everybody's able to enjoy it, it being a federal holiday, a national holiday, so most people are off of work and can celebrate it. But I think it's really more like a celebration of life. When somebody passes, there's that celebration of life. And the sacrifices, the ultimate sacrifice that plenty of our military brothers and sisters have taken on. You know, with going to war or coming back from war and having certain issues, whether it's injuries, physical injuries, or those mental injuries of PTSD and TBI and stuff like that. Honestly, this is the one where it's nice to go out and hang out with friends and barbecue and all of that stuff, but I think it's probably a little bit more somber in regards to the fact that we are memorializing those that are no longer with us, those military folks and veterans that are no longer with us, those that missing in action, killed in action, all of those things that that are unfortunately a part of war. War's not fair, it's not fun, it's nasty and ugly, and in some cases
That
it's necessary. But we've got to remember these folks. Got to think, if we don't remember these folks, I think we do them an injustice, a disservice with our whole nation. Honestly, we've
absolutely,
got to remember these guys.
yeah. From my standpoint, from a combat veteran standpoint, it's you know, I wouldn't be here today. I'm here today, and they are not.
Yeah,
Right? There is you could harbor a lot of guilt and a lot of um, angst, if you will,
right.
resentment. Survivor's guilt is a real thing. Now, I was very fortunate on both of my deployments. We lost nobody. Okay,
That's
uh,
awesome.
but when we came home, we did lose the battle. Right, we lost two Marines that I know of that took their own life. That is a topic for a different day. Today we are talking about honoring the legacies of those who are not here. And my immediate team. So I am on a national veteran lending team. We're licensed in 30 something states, and on my immediate team, I had two teammates who were drastically and horribly affected by this. Right, so my team leader, He served with SEAL Team 3, Task Unit Bruiser. In '06, he went into Ramadi, and they lost 2 SEALs in the battle. Okay?
Right.
Mark Lee was the first Navy SEAL to die in combat in Iraq, and Michael Mansour was awarded the Medal of Honor after he smothered a grenade on a rooftop to save the SEALs to his right and left. Okay, so that is just my team alone. Now, my other teammate, Melissa, she's my production partner. Her brother was killed in action. Now, the difference between my team leader and my production partner, these two things, is the Navy SEAL, Michael Mansour, he was a brother, but not by blood. Okay.
Right.
The bonds forged in war cannot be broken by anything. Right. But Melissa's brother was killed in action. That makes her a Gold Star family member.
Right.
Okay. So our Gold Star family members are very, very important during this time. Okay. And as a result of their time in service.
Right.
Okay. So we see a lot of Vietnam veterans these days dying of cancer, sadly, because of Agent Orange exposure.
Right.
Right. That is service connected. So we do honor them. Now, from a veteran standpoint, I came back from deployment. I am here today because of their sacrifices.
Right.
Do you think it's a little upsetting if you come up to me and tell me thank you for your service on a day that we're honoring the fallen?
Yeah, not everybody's going to want it that day. That's one that you save for any other day, I would say, but more specifically for Veterans Day.
Yeah. So that's the difference between the two holidays right there, right?
Yeah.
Memorial Day is a day that we honor those who are not here, the ones who paid the ultimate sacrifice. We honor the fallen. In November 1st, it's the Marine Corps birthday. That's the major holiday there, right? Then that's November 10th.
Yeah.
The following day, Veterans Day, is when you honor those who are present. Now, I'm not saying not honor our fallen on that day, because we would greatly appreciate that.
Right.
But that's the day that you thank those that are here. Okay.
Right.
Not Memorial Day. Memorial Day is totally different. And especially us Marines, everybody always says, oh, you Marines, you guys are arrogant, cocky bastards, blah. Well, there's a reason for that.
Exactly. I mean, we there's a lot of traditions, a lot of traditions in the Marine Corps.
And history like no other. I mean, at boot camp, we are inundated with the legends of the Marines that went before us.
Us as Marines now, and I was in during the 90s, you were in the 2000s, I didn't go to war. You went to war. Mine wasn't wartime really. But as Marines, we're taught, we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. And a lot of the big names that we know didn't survive. They had, yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, there's so many big names that we have in our history that we know as Marines. Some of the general public doesn't know. And I think that's really a part of it is knowing somebody. I don't personally know anybody that died in war. Okay. Especially anybody that I served with. There may have been some, but I don't know of any. And it's if you know somebody that did die in war, especially if you are a fellow veteran, those are the people you really want to honor. The people you served with and worked with directly, that you fought with, that you trained with, you sweated with, you bled with, all of that. Those are the people that we as veterans want to honor and everything. And the general public, the civilians, the citizens of this country, they should be honoring those same folks. So I think, maybe the question is like, hey, it's Memorial Day. You don't want to ask them if they knew of anybody that died, but say, hey, if you happen to have lost anybody, this day.
Or you can just ask how are you doing today? Because this could be a very difficult day. I mean, I know my team leader he's going to probably pop up here. He'll swim over, helicopter over, whatever. He'll pop up here and with a bootlace, take care of me for saying this. But, I know he's going to have a hard time on Monday, right?
Yeah.
And guess what I'm going to do? It's as easy as this, because I might forget because it's of the hectic of the day to day. I'm going to schedule a text message to fire downrange to him at 9 a.m. Hey, brother, just want to know I'm thinking of you. If you need anything, I am here.
Right.
Right? Because he lost 2 teammates, and he's
Right.
going to be dealing with that. And he's not the only one. There are thousands of veterans, I'll probably even say millions. I think it's safe to say millions, who's lost a teammate or a brother at war. If you extend from my immediate team to my extended family, if you will, within my company, we have Green Berets, we have Marines, like seasoned combat veterans, Army Rangers, all of them, they have lost somebody, right? Could be a family member, at war, could be a teammate, somebody. So you bet your ass I'm going to proactively get ahead of it, because it's going to be a hard day. So that's our ask of who's ever still watching this after 11 minutes of us rambling on, reach out to a veteran, reach out to people, or if you really want to take the next step, the next evolution is do some sort of memorial walk or run or charity event or something. Because
the CrossFitters and those that are outside of CrossFit love to do the Murph, which is I can't remember the whole thing, but it's a lot of running, pulling, pull-ups and push-ups.
Yeah.
I can't do anymore. But there's people out there who do that.
Yep.
To me, that's honoring. I think it was Lieutenant Murphy, honoring that guy and those around him, his teammates and everybody that even if they survived, they still sacrificed something because they lost their friend. They lost their teammate. So
we were just talking before this call. You're not a movie guy and you're a Marine, so you don't read books. Lieutenant Murphy is a Navy SEAL from Lone Survivor. He was awarded the Medal of Honor after he went out on a ridge to make a call for help when 4-man SEAL team were pinned down and outmanned. They weren't on the run. They were seeking cover, right? And this is Marcus Luttrell's story. So if you've ever heard that, it's incredible story. For us, me personally, now this is not, he didn't die as a result from his time in service, but we had a softball teammate. This is my vet sports world, a softball teammate who passed away tragically and unexpectedly Christmas morning. So this entire year, our softball team has kind of taken it upon ourselves to step up and be there in his place.
Right.
But we're playing this entire year in his honor.
Right.
Okay. So every chance we get, we invite his family members down. So his wife has been down, his daughters have been down. Last night we had his daughter and sister show up, and there are like crazy fans over the top screaming and cheering for everything, which is unheard of in softball, right? But we're doing things like putting patches on our hats, right? You can't really see that. We put his name on our jersey, and then at the end of this year, towards the fall, we're hosting a charity softball tournament, memorial, tournament in his honor. So all the money that we're going to raise is actually going to a Marine and their family who he was hosting a charity softball tournament for every single year. So we're trying to carry on his legacy. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is how you can honor them, right? I'm not saying go to that extent, but if you want to take the next step and you want to become more involved and you feel the urge to, like I did before I became the mortgage Marine, right? You just don't know how to get involved. That's how you can do it. Reach out to your local veteran nonprofits, because the local veteran nonprofits, they're just dying for volunteers, right? They need help. I run 2 of them. I don't know what I don't know, and there's quite a bit that I don't know.
Right.
There's quite a bit I don't know.
So I would say also, we can easily talk about this because, you're a mortgage guy, VA specialist. I'm a real estate agent. VA specialist, and we talk about the VA home loan benefit a lot, but there is one part of the benefit that goes to somebody who isn't actually directly the veteran,
Sure.
and that is the spouse of veterans that have or active duty that have made the ultimate sacrifice. And it's not all of them. You would think there would be more, but it's not actually all of them. It's the surviving spouse benefit. Um, and I'll let you go into more detail about that. But
Yeah.
I think that's really key here is that this is something that I think more and more we're seeing more because we just came out of 20 something years of war.
Right.
So I think more loan officers and agents need to understand who gets it and who doesn't, and the general public as well, because the VA gets a ton of calls about, hey, my husband served, and I want to see if I can use his benefits. All the family members call about that, but there's only one person and only one way that gets that benefit.
It's the surviving spouse is what it's called. Now, it gets a little bit dicey. It's like you're splitting hairs here, but the veteran or active duty service member must have died in the line of duty or as a result from their time in service. Okay,
Right.
so example, Vietnam veterans, Agent Orange, service connected. There's also been an uptick in PTSD with Vietnam vets, and that's because they're starting to retire now. So every transition in your life, you start to you process the
Right.
things that
Right.
happened before. I don't know why that is. That's just how we're wired. So when you transition from active duty back home, you don't really process all the shit you just went through
Right.
until it's done and over with, right?
Right.
So you're moving on. So that's where you see a lot of the spikes. Well, the Vietnam veterans, sadly, and I'm completely embarrassed to even think back to their welcome home party. I mean, we were accepted with open arms. We kissed the ground when we got back.
Right.
It was over the top. I could not imagine coming home. I helped a Quezon Marine. Quezon Marines to us, again, because we're inundated with the
Wow.
legendary, legends of Marines.
Yeah.
Quezon is one of them. 77-day, siege on a hill, 5,000 Marines fended off and killed 25,000 Viet Cong. That's freaking gangster.
Yeah.
They were cut off. There were limited supplies. They were getting airdropped, all this stuff. But this dude got 3 Purple Hearts. His career in the Marine Corps was 7 freaking months. 7 months, 3 Purple Hearts. All right. So it's boot camp SOI. Okay. So boot camp SOI is about 5 months.
Yeah.
He hit the fleet and he went to Vietnam.
It
So he
went
was in
right
Vietnam for 2 months, 3
Wow.
Purple Hearts. And he was telling me that when he's like, the first one, it sucked. This is what happened. Next one, yeah, it sucked. Third one was awesome because I didn't feel a thing and I woke up in Germany. Like, okay, cool. So, but these guys, I just lost my train of thought because
These Guys Brewing Company is on 78 Franklin Street
Google.
in Norwich. It's 697 miles away and is rated 4.5 stars.
So I have a Google Assistant clock in my office so that I can just set reminders on the fly, and sometimes it does that. So I'm sorry. Thank you, Google, for making me lose my train of thought. So Quezon, this guy was telling me on the phone when I was talking to him, and you could hear the tears in his voice.
Yeah.
He was set to fly home to San Diego, where Camp Pendleton is. In mid-flight, they rerouted up to Seattle because there were massive demonstrations and protests at the airport.
Wow.
Can and the thing with Vietnam is, the difference between Vietnam and now, we all volunteered.
Yeah.
After the towers fell, we all, put our right hand in the air. Let's go get some, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Vietnam, majority of them were drafted. And not only was it a draft, meaning you're going to go over there, the government's going to make you, but it was kind of an entitled draft. Okay. So if you did not come from a family of means, meaning they could pay for your college,
Yeah.
Guess where you're going?
Yeah.
Getting drafted and going to Vietnam. So the lower income, the poverty level. So you see a lot of African Americans getting drafted more than the whites at that time because of the diversity, right?
Right.
And the disparity in the how much money whites made over African Americans.
Yeah.
Um,
My dad was supposed to go to Vietnam. His number was called up. He went and did the physical, and they mixed up his blood work with somebody else somehow, and that whoever it was had a condition that didn't make him deployable, and they were like, "Hey, sorry for the bad news, but you need to go to the doctor and get this checked out." They go to the doctor, and doctor's like, "We don't see anything." So he got out of Vietnam out of literally a mix up, you know.
I mean, so these guys are getting drafted. They're going over to Vietnam, doing savage war things, seeing their buddies die. I mean, war is not a fun place, especially Vietnam. Vietnam was terrible, right? So they go over there, they survive, great. They come back home to a country that's just spitting in their face and telling them that, that would just kill me. That would absolutely destroy me.
Yeah.
So I understand these guys and I understand where they're coming from, but that transition, that didn't really, PTSD wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't. People didn't talk about it, so they internalized it. So when they got home, they immediately went to work, and now they're starting to process it.
Well, they were just out. Oh, they're shell shocked. They're shell shocked. That's what the old school term was. They were shell shocked. They were shocked. Something in the head wasn't right, but it took decades to, if not centuries, to kind of get all that stuff figured out. And I'm glad that that's helping out, because I think it helps out everybody, because it's not just military folks that get stuff like that. You see it with fire, EMT, police. You see it with a lot of different folks.
Yeah.
Well. So let's go into detail about
The surviving spouse. So like the biggest mistake everybody makes, even us vets, is they assume that we know our benefits. We know jack shit about our benefits.
Yeah.
Okay. So this gets a little bit dicey, and it's a very underserved community. I mean, it's even more underserved than the female veteran, which we'll talk about that later. But it's because nobody asks the first question, are you or your spouse a veteran? Because organically, how can it come up in conversation that I'm a veteran, I served?
Yeah.
Right? Many people, I mean, even to this day, I have a hard time talking about my time in service when I don't want to. Right? I mean, and that seems to be more often than not, but it was very hard for me to use this, right? So how do you expect anybody else? I mean, and I'm pretty comfortable talking about my time in service and all that, because I know that my shared stories, somebody listening will take something from it, and I'll help them somehow, right? So I will share and share and share, knowing that it's going to impact somebody. But never assume that we know our benefits. So if you're talking to a female and you ask her, you or your spouse a veteran, she's like, well, my husband was killed in action.
Yeah.
Okay. Or my husband was, and he now is dead. Well, let's talk about that answer, because they may not say, yeah, he was killed in action, right? Yeah. So because you very well could be on active duty and pass away off duty driving down the highway out in California. You could get in a car accident and die. Is that service related, or is that not service related? No, it is not. You're on civilian time, right? I mean, you're driving. So as a result, from your time in service, driving down I-5 at 5 o'clock, yes, it's a hazard to your personal health, but it's not a hazard in the sense of occupational health.
Right.
Okay. So that is not connected to your time in service. But if you're at Camp Pendleton, Camp Lejeune, and their water supply, from sometime in the 90s to the early 2000s, they had something in their water that was causing, I believe, cancer, right?
Yeah.
So they lived on Camp Lejeune, never deployed in the 90s, right? But they drank the water out of the barracks tap, which is freaking disgusting anyhow to start with, okay? And fast forward now they're getting all these cancers and different diseases,
Right.
and they pass away. That is service connected. Okay, so it gets a little bit dicey, and this absolutely who you work with really truly does matter. In this scenario, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, because we still I know they're still working on like Gulf War syndrome. We have our currently we have what is it, the burn pits
Yep.
from Iraq and Afghanistan, and I was over there as a contractor, and I was outside of Al Assad, and there was always something burning on the horizon, and it was the burn pit, and occasionally that's where they also did the EOD stuff where they blew up whatever. So yeah, those things are those things are the things that are becoming in the future. So this is probably something that's going to end up growing larger, so that the surviving spouses can take advantage of the benefit that their spouse earned.
Correct. Now, one of the main, one of the slam dunks about this is if you ask the question, are you receiving dependency identification, compensation, or DIC? Chances are they're probably eligible, right? Without having to do any more research on this. But who you work with matters 100% everything, and everything that we say, because it's true. Okay, because you could get one loan officer who tells you, no, you are absolutely not eligible because you're not receiving dependency identification compensation, right?
Or sometimes they don't even ask.
Well, if it's a loan officer and they see your income and they see a VA treasury, you would think you would put two together, but never assume. I know. But that's not going to come up organically in any conversation. That's the point of getting that. So it is on our industries as loan officers, as real estate agents, to do better. That's the least that we can do, and ask the right freaking questions.
Right.
It's as simple as, are you or your spouse a veteran? And it'll go from there. Just ask that question of all your new. That's my one ask of this call. From here on out, add one question to your initial initial consultation call. Are you or your spouse a veteran?
Right.
That's all.
And that goes for mortgage people and real estate agents.
Yeah, because if we work together as a team, cover and move this process, do you know how much easier it gets? I know, right? Teamwork is critical, especially in the mortgage transaction. You're not like most agents. You know more about lending than majority of agents I've ever talked to, right? And that's because your spouse works at the VA.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a very different understanding than most others. So you're not the norm.
Right.
So you can get away with things that others can't. But just ask that first question, because if we work together as a team throughout this process, cover and move, you handle your shit, I cover down, make sure I have your 6, and vice versa.
Right.
This process is super smooth, and you can close these loans under 30 days, no problem. Property specific, obviously. You're going to have some one-offs here and there, but for the most part, that's how you do it. That's how I do it. That's how you do it. Right? That's how we can maintain these 30-day close windows.
Yeah, and I think that's the key is, giving the opportunity for the surviving spouse to use the benefit if they are in receipt of DIC, allowing them to use that. I know a lot of times we talk about how difficult it can be to get a VA home loan offer accepted by a seller. And I think, whether we're talking Memorial Day or Veterans Day, 4th of July, we just had Military Appreciation Day or something like that.
Armed Forces Day.
Armed Forces Day. There we go. So we just had that. So, when it gets down to it, I think at least having a VA offer in consideration, because when all things are equal, all the numbers are equal, the VA home loan benefit typically is the better option because of everything else. And then, especially if you're dealing with a surviving spouse, a disabled veteran, those are the big things that I think really the general public, and especially the agents on the selling side that may not deal with a lot of veterans or veteran buyers, that they understand that this benefit needs to be used. It's there for a reason. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. It's good to check and do your due diligence with any offer that comes across the table. That's what I do. I mean, I listed a house last week. We had 2 offers, a cash deal and a VA offer, and I'm vetting both of them, but my folks determined to pick the cash offer. A lot of people do. It's hard to beat cash.
Cash is king, man.
Yeah, but we extended a backup to the veteran, to the VA offer, and I still haven't heard back. I filled out the form for the backup offer, said, "Hey, here you go," and still nothing from the agent, which is frustrating because if you're really pushing for your client, your veteran client, to get an offer accepted, a backup offer is something, because honestly, a lot of deals do fall through. Even these cash deals fall through. So, if something happens with their current deal and I got to go back to them, go, "Hey, I sent you the backup. Did you want it or not?" Because, if something's going on, we need to know right away. Then, it is what it is. These folks have got to understand that they're fighting for the veteran.
Yeah, I think I just came up with a pretty good topic for our next video. I think that either we talk over tactics and different ways to approach it as a buyer's agent or as a listing agent, why they should accept the VA offer, why they should consider it. One of the two. We'll talk this through, but I think we're onto something, because I mean that's
right.
Our goal with this is to provide the right information, the right education,
right.
Put it all out there the right way to help veterans get their offers considered and accepted. But that might be something that we need to do. Talk over different approaches, different ways to attack this, because as with the military, head on, straightforward, fix bayonets and let's go. I mean, that's fun. We're gonna go get some, but it's not the most intelligent way to come at it when you have, you can do a head-on attack, but you can also do a side flank. You can also do this. You can also do that. You call an air support. You can do, all this stuff. So there's a lot that we can help, a lot that we can go over that we can help do this without muddying the waters.
Right. I mean, it's the mentality of work smarter, not harder. I mean, that's where I first heard that, was in the Marine Corps. Work smarter, not harder. We're always going to work hard, but if you do it in a smart way, you get a lot more done in a short amount of time. I know you've seen the old meme for Marines, the Marine mentality, where, I think it's like a rat that's chewed through a maze. They've gone straight through the maze instead of going around it and everything. They go straight through it. So we definitely do take down walls and everything, but we got to do that in a smart way. And I think that's part of our goal here with our videos and everything, and getting that information out so that buyers, sellers, agents on both sides, and the general public understands a lot of this information.
Absolutely. I think we're going to end with that. We should probably wrap up. We've been yapping for 34 minutes now.
Yeah.
So in summary, Memorial Day, honor the fallen, not the living. Veterans Day, you can honor the living. And still remember the fallen, right?
Check on the living, though. Check on the veterans. Just check on them, but honor the fallen.
Correct. So other than that, man, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Don't go into the downward spiral. Remember your people. Honor them. Do something in their honor. If you're going to have a barbecue, honor a veteran that passed away.
Hey, you know what? Like we do for at the chow halls, is we always have that empty seat.
Yep.
That saved seat for the person that couldn't be there. So, that's something you may want to think about doing anyways.
So tune in next week. We're going to talk over tactics and tricks that are really helping in this crazy market, either from the buy side or sell side. We'll talk that through, but 2-part video series. How about that? There we go.
Heck yeah.
We're going to post first. We shall see. So, all right, brother. I greatly appreciate it, man. Semper Fi.
Number 5. See you, man.
Man. We'll talk soon.
Bye, man.